I'd appreciate you taking your seats.
Everybody's feeling
Counselor Legg, would you bless our gathering?
Lord, we thank you for this day. We ask that you keep your hand upon each and every one that's here. Lord, we ask that you bless our veterans and those overseas. And Lord, we ask that you keep us safe on our travels home. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. Shelley, would you do roll call?
Sir. Keith Austin.
Here.
Wes Nelber.
Honey.
Arlie Buzzard. Here. Joe Bird.
Honey.
Julia Coates. Here. Sean Crittenden.
Here.
Joe Deere.
Aye.
Mike Dobbins.
Here.
Kane Hudson. Greg Jordan.
Here.
Darrell Legg.
Here.
Dora Petzkowski.
Here.
Mike Shamba.
Here.
Mary Bakershaw.
Honey.
Gail Smith.
Here.
Janice Taylor. Here. Victoria Vesquez.
On you.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Everybody's been supplied with the minutes of the November 12th meeting. Do we have a motion to approve?
Oh, yes, sir.
Second.
All right. All in favor say yes.
Aye.
I don't know, with ayes and yeses all over the place. But people don't listen, do they?
That's right.
Reports. Miss Diane Kelly.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. I know I'll see you tomorrow, though. But I may forget by tomorrow. You got my report, and you got to see the clients that we spotlighted this month. Every month we try to spotlight some of our participants that have gone on and got employed, and we're having really good luck with the people that we're running through training to get jobs. Some of them get jobs before they complete their training, so I guess that says a lot about our tribal members. They're good workers. Talking leaves. No, let me start out first. Last Friday, we had a ribbon cutting in Muskogee, and it was in Councilman Dobbins' district. We're real excited. We opened an office over there for primarily our TANF program, but we also have other services over there such as tarot, Job Corps recruitment. We have our employment training. We'll do our summer youth over there. Whereas we were using the clinic at Three Rivers, we will now be based over there. You can go around the expressway to Peak Boulevard, hang a right, and you just go about a fourth of a mile past the intersection. And we're there on the left side in a beige colored building. It is located at 1305 South Country Club Road. I had hoped to have some pictures for you. I was talking with Julie Hubbard a few minutes ago, and Josh Newton was our person that was over there taking pictures and doing the story and everything. And he had, I believe someone in his family had an accident this weekend, but she assures me that he will have those pictures and everything out tomorrow. So that's why you haven't seen anything, but you will. So I just wanted to share that with you because we had long awaited for this to happen, and I've got staff that are over there working. LaVon Ely, Dink Scott, Chris Kelly, and Jackie England are the four that are over there, and then we'll have other people going over at different times throughout the week. So it should be up and running as soon as we get some of the bugs worked out. We don't have a printer yet, so we couldn't print some things, but we were trying to scan them. We're trying to get all of our stuff hooked up, so just bear with us. So if anybody complains, you know that we're still in the process of getting everything worked out. Job Corps students will travel home for the Christmas holidays on Wednesday of this week and return on January the 6th. We'll have a event for the students tomorrow night. We've got some sweatshirts for the kids. They'll get those, and the student government's going to give them some fruit and candy, so they'll have something to munch on the way home. Department of Labor has changed our area, and I felt like I needed to tell you. We're going to appeal it. I don't know how good we're going to do about appealing it, but if you looked at the state of Oklahoma, there's 3 Job Corps centers in the state. There's Guthrie, there's Tulsa, and there's Talking Leaves. Talking Leaves, we got this on December the 3rd, and they're telling us that we can only recruit students in this area right here. Well, that only gives us 4 counties in our jurisdictional boundaries to recruit students. And then the rest, we go all the way down to the Texas border.
And population-wise?
There's nothing. There's no big area or nothing. Then you get up here, Tulsa gets Tulsa County, and they get all of our 8 counties up here in the northern area.
So when you say recruit, somebody from Washington County, can they apply here?
No.
Or not? They can't even be served here?
No, no. They're telling us that anybody that lives and resides in this area has to go to the nearest Job Corps Center, which is Tulsa. Unless it's a vocation that we have that Tulsa doesn't have, then they can ask to go there because that's the nearest Job Corps Center. And when you
Please
look
appeal
at
that.
Tulsa,
Yes.
Tulsa's sitting in the jurisdictional boundaries of the Cherokee Nation,
Who's proposing this?
the Department of Labor,
I mean, who's carrying the water?
Dallas Regional Office. And we think it's primarily because for the last year, our outreach admissions has been up there in the top 5, and Guthrie's has been towards the bottom, and they are the largest center. They have around 400 something students. We have around 200. Tulsa has 240, and Tulsa's been towards the bottom, and they haven't been able to pull their recruitment up. Neither has Guthrie. And we're competing with Gary, which is one of the largest in our region down in Texas. We're competing with the others. We're in the top 5 just about every week. Sometimes we're number 1, sometimes we're 2, sometimes we're 4 in our outreach admissions. Now, they're telling us as far as placement goes that we can place within the whole state or even within the boundaries. We can place students there. But as far as recruitment, if you had a relative or if you were up here in Mays County and you wanted someone to come to Cherokee Nation to Talking Leaves, they can't come. You
Would
have to
a-
refer them to Tulsa.
Would a resolution from this council in support of your efforts to appeal be helpful to you?
I think it probably would be, but what I'm going to do is I visited with Chief Friday, and we just got this information here in the last week. They proposed it or approved it December the 3rd, but we didn't get it till last week. So I'm going to get with Kim Teehee and see what we can do to oppose it at the federal level, because they don't look at us as an Indian and Native American center, even though we're nonprofit and we fit in with all the conservation centers, and we're not Forest Service centers. In fact, we're the only Indian and Native American center, but they look at us as a contractor, nonprofit contractor. So we are going to appeal it, and I just wanted you to be aware of it. So if you have clients that are telling you that they can't come to Talking Leaves, it's not our rule.
I'm quite certain you'll get the support of this council in the way that you feel like would best suit your appeal.
Thank you. So we'll probably be coming back for that next month. I just wanted you to be aware of it right now, since we just got the document.
Thank you.
Tribal Training Services, Jeff wanted me to report that they will serve what was called the Day Work Training Program, which is Tribal Training Services, the first 3 days of this week, and then they will not place anybody else because of the holidays. We will still place the clients that are going to work at our facilities at CNB, but as far as the tribal, unless the program wants to reimburse, we will not go past Wednesday. Career Readiness Act, our first class will graduate this week in Pryor. We're pretty sure that most of those students are either going to go on for advanced training, either in electrical, plumbing, or carpentry, or they already have jobs lined up. I think 2 of them already have jobs. They had jobs before they completed. We will be starting another class. We've also got medical programs that are starting in January with Northeast Tech, medical coding, and we've also got some at Indian Capital. Josh Drywater's up at Tri-County today, meeting with them on some nursing programs up there at their center for the next semester. I'm real excited about the lineman training. We've had 4 meetings with OSU Tech, the Tahlequah Public Works Authority, Lake Region was at our last meeting, GRDA, and we're moving forward with Indian Capital Technology. They're going to convert their heavy equipment building, which is just down from their big building in the industrial park. They're going to convert that into the lineman training, and Tahlequah Public Works is going to move their poles that are out in another location down to the industrial park, and that's where they're going to do the staging for the climbing and they will be just right outside the building where the classes will be held. We anticipate starting this around Valentine's Day. We need the whole month of January to recruit. We understood from talking with the Public Works Authority and the electric companies that when they go into their internship, that the Public Works Authority and the electric companies will pay them while they're in the internship program. And we'll be doing 2 8-week stints at those locations for the internship. While they're in the internship, we will start our next class. So we'll be recruiting from about 5 areas. We had proposed to GRDA and Northeast Tech. We had hoped that Northeast Tech would come in with us, and we would look at getting GRDA to purchase the video conferencing so that we could have classes going at both locations. That's still kind of up in the air as to whether we could, but we have proposed it, and I've been in contact with Dana Shrum at GRDA and Jerry Cook at GRDA. So we're hoping that we'll be able to expand it. But OSU Tech was so gracious to say that they would do this extension, and it's a certificate class, but they're going to do a capstone, and they're also going to do the internship, which is not required, but we're requiring it. So we're real excited, and as soon as we get all this lined up, we'll maybe invite you guys out so you can see the class. Our Wayfinders program is getting ready to come to an end. We told the health department that we would do it through the end of the calendar year. And Taryn, George, and Austin have been working with the Wayfinders. They're telling me there's 12 people that have religiously been up there every week. And so we're going to recognize those 12 people. I'm thinking that the health department may work something out where we can maintain some of them up there. So we're working with Brian and Steve Jones and them on this. Today, our group sponsored an in-house training program, Christmas get-together and staff development at the Chota Ballroom. George and Jan Grogan put this together for all of our in-house programs. All of our people that are in training at the career techs and all the other places, they have some sort of a Christmas get-together, but our in-house programs don't, so we do this for them. So George told me it was very well attended. There was about 60 people there, so we recognized them. And Jan and them go out and get little door prizes for them, so everybody that came got something. So I don't have anything else to report on. Do y'all have any questions?
Any questions? Counselor Deere?
I met with a kid at the street school the other day. He asked me a question. I really didn't know what the right answer was. He is applying to one of the trade schools, and they at the end of May, and he needed to purchase tools as a separate thing from them, and I was under the impression that the money would go directly to that trade school and then provide it. So he's supposed to have them before he goes. So how's that work?
I really can't answer that because I don't know what training he's in or where the school is. They all have different.
It's that iTech, I think is what he said.
Is it OSU Tech at Oldalgie?
Because he's doing diesel mechanic.
Can you give me his name afterwards?
Yeah,
So I
think
can
I
follow
can.
that.
I can get
Yeah.
it for you. But yeah, because there's two different things: the tuition plus the tools. So I was just trying to clarify for him when to apply for that. The tools, is it separate than when you apply?
Some
for
of the
tuition?
training programs have the tools there in the classroom.
Yeah.
And then when they complete the training, they have to have tools in order to get employed.
Yeah.
And that's where we come in. But I don't know which training he's going into, and I don't know exactly what their
Yeah.
policy is.
I'll find
Because every
out.
one of them is a little different.
Yeah, because this one told him he had to have his tools before he showed up.
Okay, so if that's the case, then they would be our tools,
Yeah.
and he would have to sign that there are tools.
Okay.
Okay?
I'll get you that.
Okay.
Thanks.
Counselor Duncan?
I don't have a question, Diane. Just want to say thank you and thank Brian Vance publicly for just being a big all-around help.
And he'll know what that's about.
Oh, yeah. No,
Okay.
he's good. I think he goes above and beyond. And I had a meeting with him. It's been almost a month, well, 2-3 weeks back, and want to make sure to recognize him.
Thank you. I appreciate that because Brian does. He's usually here past 5 o'clock.
And he's
They're
got
out
a
in the
neat-
hall. He's still
Yeah.
here till
He's
they
got a
leave.
neat backstory too, and
Yes.
has overcame a lot of things. I'd like to see him in this council book sometimes as your spotlight, maybe.
Okay.
Is there other questions,
Just real quick, do we close the Oklahoma City office since that
Oh,
map
no,
went
no,
out?
no, no. This is for outreach admissions placement is one contract separate from the center. And Jonna Lewis is over that, and Julie McPeak is, Jonna's the manager, Julie's the supervisor. Julie takes care of placement, and Jonna usually takes care of the outreach piece of it. Although they can do either one, both of them. But the Oklahoma City office is placement. And our office here does more of the outreach. And placement can place anywhere.
No other hands are up, Diane, so I guess that means they're satisfied that you did a good job.
Well, thank you.
Always.
I'll be back tomorrow and I'll have some more things for you.
Thank you, and we
Hunter-
wish you Merry
Hunter's got some
Christmas.
flyers on the training, and we'll make copies and have those for you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Would join us for lunch tomorrow.
I will.
Wish
Thank
you
you.
and your staff a Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Representing the Executive Director's Office, Jennifer Pitchen. Hello, Jennifer.
Good afternoon, everyone. You have our reports, and I've got a couple of items to add to that. First of all, scholarship deadline is coming quick. December 28th is the deadline. However, that falls on a Saturday, so we're going to roll that to Monday. So we'll accept those applications and renewal documents the 30th until 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. So the concurrent enrollment application needs to apply online, and students currently funded through undergraduate and graduate need to email their documents to their advisors. If any of your fall graduates still need a stole, if they can get in contact with us, we'll do our best to get it to them before their graduation. If not, we'll still provide them one after that date. The Immersion Christmas program is going to be Friday, December 20th at 10 a.m. in the old gym, followed by Christmas lunch at the Sequoia cafeteria.
Is that it?
Yep. And then Erna is not going to be able to be with us today, but she did send a gift to everyone, so you'll be getting one of these later. It's their conference bag that they had this year, and it's full of some goodies. So
We need that.
Well, thank her and for that. Any questions? Deer was first.
I just want to say thank you. I got the books. We had our TPS meeting, Tulsa Public Schools, not Telephone. And we met with those and had a breakfast. And they love the elementary books, and we talked about getting that coloring book for the younger ones. So when you ever get that, let me know.
okay,
But they all were provided that history book.
great.
But overall, just thank you for getting that put together, because I put you on a short time notice to get it, but you came through, so
Good.
thank you.
Glad we
Appreciate
could
it.
help.
Counselor Shaw?
Hi, Jennifer. Hi. Jennifer, how many JOM programs are there in the state of Oklahoma?
That I'll have to get back to you on. I'm not sure at the moment.
What I'm specifically interested in is how many are there in jurisdiction and how many are out in the state?
Get that to you.
And if anyone has any community funds, I've always got requests for these JOM programs, so please let me know.
Counselor Dobbins?
Yeah, just a comment, it's not a question for Jennifer. Just wanted to toot the horn of a school district in my area, Warner Public Schools. They recently received all A's, high school, middle school, elementary. They're in the top 0.2% of public schools in Oklahoma. They've done it 3 years in a row. This is just a typical rural Cherokee environment, 40% Cherokee. It's not like they have South Tulsa kids down there. I mean, it's rural, socioeconomic, it's just like you and I all across Cherokee Nation. And I've asked their administration how they do it, and the biggest thing they think key was that they do not allow cell phones.
Makes sense.
Schools. and they've addressed privacy issues with the parents. They've handled all that. They got a supportive school board, obviously. But taking cell phones away, have a 7-hour digital detox every day is good for those kids. And it improves their behavior, discipline problems. It's not everything, but taking those cell phones away for 7 hours. Might be some thought given to other schools to try that. But
We should try that.
Yeah, that'd help everybody.
What about the teachers? Are they taking away? What about the teachers?
teachers have very limited access to phones. I think maybe on their planning period, they get to go.
Did you happen to speak to them anything about like their poverty implementation of how they can affect that? I wonder. Did you get to talk to them at all about it?
Wes, would you like to speak?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just in
Okay.
conversation.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Are you finished, Dr. Dobbins?
Well, he was asking me, so I don't know.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, would you like to add?
I'd like to ask them a question,
Okay.
if you don't mind. I guess I know you spoke with administrators trying to figure out how they could implement that. Was there any talks on their poverty issue? I know that some of our schools, counselors and stuff like that dealing with home life issues can also affect those grade school, increasing their levels like that. I didn't know if they had any insight on that. You might be able to ask them.
No, but it certainly is a reflection of typical poverty across, Warner, Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's awesome to know.
The cell phone issues seem to just tip them over, enable them to really get a grasp on behavioral issues. It led to a lot better learning and testing and so forth. But I just want to toot the horn of Warner Public
Thanks for
Schools.
sharing that. Is there any other questions or concerns? Yes.
I'll have a question for our immersion school. We have basketball games up there, and they travel for every game. They don't have a home gymnasium. I know that there's been some issues in the past with paying referees and how gate proceedings and everything would be. It's just kind of been an issue of how we could have home games. Is there not any way we could work that in with something with Sequoia, where it's just a rental fee that would include Sequoia paying the referees? And maybe that might be a way that we can get around some way of having, because I know these kids, their families are from right around here locally, and they're not able to go drive a long ways away to watch their kid play ball. So it's just kind of something that might be able to find some sort of solution to have a few home games.
Okay, we'll take a look and see what we can find out.
All right, appreciate it.
So all of their games are away?
They don't have a single home game. It has to do with it's being a state school, and then we have a BIE school, and they're not allowed to accept gate money and then pay the referee. So they've tried several different avenues. They haven't come up with a solution, to my knowledge. That's why everything's kind of been away.
These are immersion kids.
These are immersion kids. And so you would think that we could just have a rental agreement with Sequoia, and Sequoia would pay the referees. And that way there's no payment coming from a public Oklahoma school to a private BIE school. It was just a specific rental agreement to
Even if
pay.
you had just half of the games at home's what you're gonna have, we might just, try to appropriate that into our budget.
Yeah,
But that might be a question we ask Mr. Qualls to
Okay.
give his report.
appreciate it.
Others?
I have one more back to, Counselor Dobbins on that, back to Warner and the cell phone. So they attribute that performance on those cell phones,
Right,
doing without.
right. And they've overcome all the privacy issues, the issue parents, I can't reach my child if it's an emergency. They've addressed that.
Sure.
So, yeah, they think that it's just really changed the atmosphere. Not have cell phones, cyberbullying.
We didn't have cell phones, we
Yeah, I
did
know.
all right.
We made it all right, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Jennifer. And
Thank you.
hope the staff has a great Christmas.
You guys too.
Join us for lunch tomorrow.
Will do. Thank you.
Flip back in the book, Karen. Verna Thompson, we already know, is not here, but we did want to thank Verna and her staff for the Christmas presents and all the work that they do throughout the year. And then we have Leroy Qualls with Sequoia High School.
So, Rex, you want to give some of your money to Jerry?
Good afternoon, everyone. Good to see everyone. It's good to be here, first of all. I want to kind of add to my report. If you got any questions, we can go back and try to answer those for you. Of course, finals week for our students this week. A lot of happy kids and smiling faces in the hall. Few stressed because they've got tests. Varsity basketball plays at home tonight. Someone calls CHEF, and I'm not familiar with that. Researched it a little bit. I know they play Noah Homeschool. They're a homeschool organization. Looking at their schedule, it looks like they play all road games, matter of fact, since you're talking basketball and not having a facility.
Varsity plays at home tonight? 6:30?
6.
Did
Make a short meeting.
did we get a report from you?
What?
Did you supply a report? Okay. It didn't
It's on
make
page
me-
4 or page 12.
I've got an extra one if you want it.
Okay. You say it's in the book?
It's on my
sent it.
iPad, brother.
Oh, it's on your pad.
Nisi got it.
Okay, thank you.
I send reports to different people, and I don't know if they trickle down or not.
That one's part of,
Education? Oh, okay.
we didn't get the separate sequoia report.
Talking about basketball, great game Saturday night in the finals of the girls' tournament up at Tahlequah High School. Our kids did well for themselves. And I tried to, the ones I saw in the hall this morning, let them know how proud I was. Did they win the game? No, they did not. It was against number 6 Booker T in 6A. And we won't see those athletes again this year, so it'll help us down the road, and that's kind of how I put it to the ones that I got to talk to. A couple of them got banged up. It was a good, physical, clean ball game. We lost 53-48, dug ourselves a hole, and we were down 14-0, 12-0 right off the bat. I think part of that might have been stage fright, even though these kids have played in big ball games before. Playing an elite team, and I felt good about an elite performance on our girls' half. Really put up a good fight. It was a great ball game to watch if you like basketball. Anyway, they come in second, and that's not a disgrace. Had a real good field, some 6A, 5A teams.
We come in second all the way around. Valiant come in second, we come in second, Jalen Hurts come in second, CeeDee Lamb come in second. We didn't win anything.
We're still the best, though. Our boys did win the consolation championship. They lost their first game and come back and won the next 2. They beat Bartlesville 56-32. Both teams will go to 8-air, and that's during our break. It'll be on January 3rd when they return to action. They do go to Victor Christian Friday night to finish up the first term, and that'll be a very tough one. So we're Victory beat Fort Gibson Saturday night, so they must be pretty good. The girls are ranked number 1 unless it's changed in the last 30 minutes, and the boys are ranked number 2. It's not bad. Our speech and drama department is putting on a presenting what Christmas means to me variety show Friday night after school is out. Everyone's gone. If you're in the neighborhood, drop by. It'll be very interesting. I think they're charging $5 admission, and they'd like if you're coming, I've heard bring the covered dish, they'd like someone to bring a dessert. I don't know what all is up with that, but and there's $5 pictures with Santa after the play or the presentation. Christmas dinner will be this Friday from 11 to 1. If you're in the neighborhood, please drop by. We'll feed you. And if you have any questions or if you missed anything on the report I sent last month, I'd be happy to go over some of that too. But I did want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Counselor Shaw, you had your hand up earlier.
Well, I think Counselor Legg may have answered it. My question was, how did you all get to be playing with a 6A school?
We entered the tournament.
Oh, you entered the so I didn't
It's
realize,
an invitational.
so we are invited to play.
Right.
Wow.
Which is a good deal.
Yeah, it's a good deal.
It only
What an
helps
opportunity
us.
to play, yeah.
Well, you had Bixby, Jinx, you had Norman, Moore, you had Muskogee, Tahlequah, then Sequoia was probably the lowest class in the
This
whole
year.
tournament.
And you came second.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, that's huge.
State champions for
Shows our Indian kids can compete against every school in the state.
That's a key. If you've
Council
coached
Byrd,
very long, that is very helpful.
did you get you said you had something to say?
Before, we were talking about the immersion.
Mm-hmm.
You give that some thought, see if there's any solutions that we could
Student
come up with.
activity account,
Yeah. Okay.
that's how it's done. Revenue in, pay out.
Okay. Just somebody put a cost to it so we'll know what we're getting ourselves into.
Referees,
Okay.
if that's a rental fee for the gym. I mean, that's just off the top of my head
Okay.
without researching anything.
Yeah.
And since it's a co-partner gym, I don't think we'd have any hang-up with BIE
Yeah.
regulations.
It'd be good for the parents and some of the supporters to, not have to travel every game. I mean, that's not fair.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, our kids have played at home. I haven't seen anything at home this year.
Right.
I've gone over and watched them play. I enjoy watching them.
Yeah.
They played in the new gym last, and I saw them play in the old gym. But, I understand that. And I did hear about where they couldn't pay the refs or wouldn't be able to, or whatever.
Okay. And if you would you, after the report, would you please stay? Because item number 1 is going to pertain to the resolution that was passed out of the school board at Sequoia.
Okay, sure will.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Are there other questions?
Thank you all.
All right, I guess
Merry
that's
Christmas
it.
again.
Wish all your students a Merry Christmas from us.
Sure will, thank you.
You might as well just stay there.
Stay here.
I see no old business, none pending. With new business, we do have one resolution here. Councilor Byrd, would you like to introduce that?
Yes, this is something that we've talked about for some time with the executive branch, and I've talked to the Assistant Secretary of Interior. And she spoke at our last NCAI about in order to qualify for any type of a joint venture, as we did with the health, that our school had to be at least 100 years old, Sequoia. And we qualify, I think, 1876?
82.
1882. So anyway, we're in that ballpark. And so when she gave that report, I approached her and said, we want to discuss this venture with you. And she said, oh, yes. She goes, and I told her where I was from. And she said, well, we need to discuss that. And we had a good conversation about it. So I said, well, let us get back and look at the information that we had. And I think you and Mr. Etheridge were working on what it would take to renovate some of the needs that we have up here. We did everything backward at Sequoia. Mr. Qualls and I drew up what the facility is supposed to look like at one time. And instead of repairing everything or building new parts of that Sequoia, we went and built the gym right off the bat. The gym wasn't supposed to be built first. That was supposed to be built later. Now we've got that pretty nice gym. When people come to see us, they base who we are and what our school looks like on that gym. Well, the gym's not bad, but the rest of the school's falling apart. It's over 100 years old. So you put a cost to that to renovate and do all the, the cost of what we need to do up there. It's outrageous. So once we get that, I told Miss Sweeney we would go up and see her. But I wanted, and I talked to the chief about this, let us do it correctly. Let's get something on writing and make it official and get the school board to pass it first. And they did, correct? Unanimously. So after we did that, I said, then we'll come back to the education committee and discuss it and let the council have input if they choose to. And I talked to the chief about this. So there's where we are with this. It's something that's long overdue. If the assessment, goes in our favor, it's something that would really benefit our school, and I think it will, then it's something that we will proceed with. So anyway, Chief, you want to add something to that?
Have you made a motion?
No,
Okay.
but I do make a motion.
Yeah.
I second the motion.
Second, right here.
And sponsor.
Chief, you want to make a,
Just very briefly, I apologize I was down the hall, but yeah, you and I have talked, and I appreciate your leadership and the council's leadership on this. It is something we absolutely support, and just as recently as last week, we were talking to our lobbyist about this issue, and we'll do some follow-up, and this will be a very useful tool to help us hopefully get this achieved. And I appreciate you.
thank you, Chief.
I would say that you guys are doing it the right way. I mean, it has to go through the resolution process, I guess, probably beginning at the school board, which has been done. It's been discussed in the past. It hadn't been initiated or it got going. And I know Chief Baker took some things to DC and put some things out there, some people. I'm not for sure exactly what all that was. But whether we get it or not, this is the track to go. And at worst, will we get a new school? We don't know yet. We may not. But we can say we tried. Guess what? You know, if the criteria is what Speaker mentioned, we qualify. You know, we do have a couple of buildings over 100 years old. The other thing is, and I know because I did an assessment, I think it was either September or October. BIE wanted us to prioritize our projects, so I did. Some are backlogged already, what you call backlogged and waiting for them to act on the funding, whether it's funded or denied or just on hold. Did that, and we've talked about this before too. We've band-aided the school for many years, and it's in good shape. There's a great job it's been done of maintaining and band-aiding what we have. One story that comes up, we had an inspection that we didn't know about that come through. Well, we got our hand slapped because we only had 2 outlets in each room. Well, the main building was built in 1966. There was no computers, no laptops. They even said, take the microwaves out. And I said, well, I don't want to see that. Well, it's a fire hazard. And I said, we'll fix it. So we checked into fixing it. EOTS said, well, we'd have to fracture the walls. And I said, well, would it make us more unsafe during a storm? Yes, it would. I said, okay, you guys solve the problem. I'm just here to help these kids. So microwave story, sometimes I walk the halls, I see teachers tutoring kids during their lunch. They stick something in the microwave and eat it before the next class starts. I know because I taught in a classroom 30 years. The other thing to that is their MacBooks are their library. That's where they research. Other schools are going to the notebooks now for learning in the classrooms. Can we take those out? Well, we could, but I think we'd regress. We've got kids going in good places, Ivy League schools, and there's a reason for it. So getting back to that, an assessment could be done to the campus. There's things that we're not ADA compliant yet, and that's what I've requested. That was the first thing I asked for on my priority list, ADA assessment. Let's see where we're lacking for people that are handicapped, elderly, or what have you. And then we'll try to fix it. All in a nutshell, it's kind of like me when I was at Tahlequah. We did an assessment on the, and you know where Bagley High School was, the old junior high. Yeah, we had school there. Mike, you know it because you walked down the street to go to your house. There's a time our bills were getting so huge and our repairs were getting so expensive because there were more. Think about an old car. That's what we're driving. You know, there's more things to fix. And that's including utilities. Jones Academy was built just a few years ago. Blew my socks off. They said our electric bill for the year was just a little over $12,000. Heck, ours was over $36,000 in 1 month. We're bigger, of course, but we're older and not as efficient, electric-wise, utility-wise. But you kind of see the picture I'm painting. So we did that priority list. I think I sent 22 or 23. I had a little subcommittee, put those together, sent it off so the EOTS system could put it into the Maximo system of the BIE. And we'll see what we can get and not get if we don't get a new school. At least we've got things in the making, including a PAC. That's on that list too. Trying to upgrade some things, but sometimes BIE doesn't act or react real quickly. I'm not saying that to be facetious, it's just the system.
Thank you.
What about your security of your school? Do you have electronic locks? Do you have things like that?
We're working on it. We're supposed to have all of our locks and cameras ordered by the 31st of December.
Thanks, sir.
So the roll-around's getting closer.
Are there other, yes, Rex?
That's what we better just sponsor.
Added as a sponsor, add Rex as a sponsor.
Me too.
Anybody else?
Me too.
Everybody,
Not you,
anybody want to
everybody.
be excluded? I'm not seeing anybody say no. But we still have to vote. No more questions. Let's call for a vote. Who, if you support this, say yes.
Yes.
If you don't, say no. There you go. Thank you. Appreciate your work.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
That is the any announcements?
Mr. Cross, join us for lunch tomorrow.
The next meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, January 13th at 3 p.m. This meeting is,
I'll make a motion.
I make a motion, I ask for a motion. You got a motion. Second, who says aye?
Aye.